Hot news at Louis Vuitton, Michael Jackson forever. The New York Times. Paris. When Chris Brown and Gunna fired up spliffs in the front row at the Yuji Yamamoto show on Thursday, it was a sure signal that fashion had crossed into new territory. The outlines of the landscape we've now entered are starkly unlike the one that came before in ways that are as much attitudinal as demographic. Fashion can't there's that incense again, Ben Cobb, editor-in-chief of Another Man magazine, said as he settled into a front-row seat earlier that afternoon for Virgil Abloh's sophomore show as artistic director of menswear for Louis Vuitton. He was referring to, "I am so high right now," Mr. Cobb added. He meant contact. The whole industry seems a bit buzzed right now, with designers as disparate as Mr. Abloh at Vuitton Men's and Pierpaolo Piccioli at Valentino seeming to quote from the same cheat sheet during backstage interviews, spouting a gospel of an inclusivity that has been too long in coming. And then there was View slideshow sent. The week's tentpole event, Mr. Abloh's show for Vuitton, was held in a graffiti-covered tent erected in the Tuileries Gardens. Outside, the Vuitton show was presented on a set replicating the Alphabet City backdrop of, and Mr. Jackson was the stated inspiration for the collection. Michael Jackson, this is true as far as it goes. Before personal, despite having used a rhinestone-studded white glove for the Vuitton show's invitation, Mr. Abloh's objective, he said, was never to replicate the costume Jackson but to use a deconstructed icon as a point of departure. And, in a way, thus, there were military cuffs on an admiral's trench coat and, on a bomber jacket, painted cartoon motifs adapted from The Wiz, Sidney Lumet's 1978 film adaptation, with an all-black cast, of The Wizard of Oz. There were the but there was also a doubling down on sophisticatedly layered gray suiting, skirt trousers perhaps too closely reminiscent of those produced by Jun Takahashi at Undercover, and elegantly detailed blazers to counter the knock on Mr. Abloh that he is best sticking to graphics and hoodies. That there were flags of all nations rendered on bags and in leather pennants was Mr. Abloh's nod to We Are the World, a single that Jackson and Lionel Richie wrote and recorded with an all-star cast to benefit African famine relief in 1985. They were also and there were the collector's items that, in a world of drops and sniping bots, increasingly drive sales at global brands. Yes, people don't actually put anything inside the duffels, Gian De Leon, the editorial director of High Snow Beauty, said after the Vuitton show. They just carry them.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.